YouTube, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage here, back in the legendary campaign, like in the middle of a turn end here. I guess this is where it's saved. Is this where Attila comes? It's winter of 419 AD. I don't know when it goes to the new year. If it's spring where it calls it the new year. We'll see.
Shall we hag at each other?
Well, it doesn't matter what year it is, you're not getting peace. Think again, Quadian dirtbags. Come on, let's see if it happens. This could be it. This could be like the big climate change, Huns arrive, all that kind of stuff. Yes, it is.
Darkness and despair.
Did it ever snow at the pyramids of Giza?
The sun ever southward. And behold a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. His wrath would engulf the world, and he delighted in watching it burn. The horde looked to Attila, and the world trembled. Abandon all hope.
Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. Bring it on, Attila. Bring it on. Did my food just go from 1900 all the way down to 45? I think it did. I'm pretty sure it was 1900 on the last turn. Wow. Like, so how bad was the... Really? It made that much of a hit all in one turn? Yeah, so we just lost a ton of money. That is enormous. I lost 1,900 food in one turn. That really does seem somewhat ridiculous. Like, and if by somewhat I mean entirely and completely ridiculous. Let's see. Well, whatever. We'll start dealing with it. I've got a trade jetty here that can be converted over to a fishing jetty. Except that's not the province I should be focused on. We're going to have these other ones where we need it more. Got the food market. Public order is stupendous up here, so we can upgrade to the food market. Military wharf. Let's just start working our way through some of these. Provinces with negative food issues. This one could be because of just all the damaged buildings, so we'll see. Carthagenesis, what can I do here to help conserve some food? Because we want to be positive on food. That's a trade jetty. We can convert that to a fishing jetty, and that will make a difference. And I kind of need the public order from the governor's palace, or else I could tear it down a bit. We're just going to have to wait for growth to help us out there. Galatia, we're at minus 22. We can easily just put another field in here, and we should be able to cover that. I just want to get the food back into the positive on some of these provinces. Now, keep in mind, in my mod, the amount of food will go up after like a certain number of turns. It doesn't just keep continually getting worse like it is just in the standard base game. We're only at minus 8 here, so just building that farm there ought to put us back in the green here. Slave market, food market, wine market. I swear the wine market doesn't give me an extra bit of food too. We can put another field in there, so we can probably still build the wine market there. But let's focus on getting, like I said, let's try and get our food back up into the positive in all these provinces. It's going to be very difficult in some of them. Minus 15 public order here? What's that all about? Food. Oh, they're mad about food. Imagine that. Great. We get to deal with that now. Let's see. So we've got that. I think the cattle herd gives us the most food whenever there's poor fertility. Have the fishing jetty there. Let's see. So that's 74 if I have the wheat mills. And it would be 90 if I had the cattle farm. So it looks like in the case of at least meager fertility that the cattle farm is better. But I can't convert to the cattle barn because I don't have the right research. It is here, 20 turns away. That's good to know. Oh, good grief. This is going to be interesting. The climate change on this game is redonkulous. It really is. Like, it is completely and utterly redonkulously stupid. Let's see. These little provinces don't bother me that much because we're not making a ton of money off them anyway. Do the cattle herd there. Mauritania. Surprisingly, this is one of the few provinces that actually still is in the positive on food, which is amazing. Should get extra sanitation coming out of those. If we do a forum, we can put a food trader here as well. So let's check kind of public order all throughout here. So Galatia is going to have some issues with public order. I'm thinking about bringing some of these priests down to help out because my public order is really quite good here in Britannia, except for up here where the Geats attacked. And we are getting a pretty big public order penalty where we are lacking food. I have this extra priest, though. Let's go ahead and start walking him back down to Hispania by whatever the quickest route is, I guess. We'll just get him down there. Okay. So we've got him on the way down there. The biggest reason this concerns me is because it's going to prevent me from being able to afford more armies and more navy. Because we're taking a 25% hit to our income in all of the provinces where we are in the negative in food. And that's a pretty decent chunk of what happened. But the rest of the chunk of my income that just went away is from where we were getting extra income due to fertility. And it's no longer fertile there. That's going to be the big hurt that we're put in. But fortunately, we don't have a ton of excess food, but we're there. And so some people were probably giving me a hard time about how much food that I was putting in. And obviously, it was not overkill because I'm barely in the positive right now because of what happened there with the sudden climate change. But we have tools to work on it. It shouldn't be the end of the world. So you're trying to think. So we have stuff building. It should get a little bit better. I'm going to conserve a bit of money with what I have here just because it's not going to hurt to have a little extra money sitting around in case we get into a hard, between a rock and a hard place. Probably need to stop getting so many expensive troops and fleets, everything else, at least for the time being, until we understand the full effect. I'm going to have to wait one more turn here and let these armies kind of get out of the snow before we move on and finish the job. But we can take these fleets. I'm going to pull up here. I'm going to go ahead and blockade the Geats. Maintain blockade. And if I move in, I now get both my fleets to take out the Geats. Fleets to take out the Geats. How about that? There's a rhyme you didn't want to hear. Yeah, so I've got a ton of Marines, and I get both ships. This is going to be pretty cool. Actually thinking I'm going to play this one real quick, because I haven't done like a naval assault, and I've been wanting some revenge on the Geats here. Wow, man, that's crazy. It's like one turn, hey, by the way, you had 2,000 extra food? Not anymore. That's gone. Because overnight it started snowing on the pyramids. Oh, jeez. The climate change is utterly stupid. Like, it really should have affected the provinces in the north worse, and then it would have actually done what the purpose of the game was, which was to have the climate change driving the barbarian tribes south to the breadbaskets of Rome and Iberia and all the others. And so, to me, that's why it's a little bit frustrating the way they do it, just because it's kind of moronic. Just like, hey, we're just going to blanket the whole map with the same climate change. Like, it's just lazy. Let's see. I know there could be a few enemy naval vessels, so I'll have my ramming ships at the ready. And I've got my marine ships. Let's go ahead and start the battle. I am not going to do fire at will. I'm going to move up here with these artillery ships. Okay, the enemy is actually... Are they going to go ashore or are they going to approach? Whoa, they're firing at me. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. Come on! Bunch of rat finks. They've got 2 artillery ships. I'll bet you they're going to sink one of mine right off the bat here.
We don't stand a chance. The enemy outnumbers us.
Okay, my guys are opening fire, and look, my whole line of ships opened fire, and I didn't score a single hit. 1 hit. There we go. It took my whole line of ships to get enough hits.
The ship is being assaulted. Cast them back.
Okay, that was a bit of a mistake. I'm going to go ram this artillery ship. Go ahead and ram their general again. Okay, ram their ship again, please. There we go. Their general's down. Their admiral, I should say.
The enemy draws near.
Okay, I'm going to go ram their artillery ships to death. I'm going to have my own artillery ships cease fire. I'm going to try and put all my ships kind of into a safe holding pattern back here. All we have to do is just ram down this artillery ship real quick. These light assault ships, it's not going to matter what happens to them. Yeah, so we took care of the enemy navy. I'm pretty sure that I told all of you to quit firing. As in cease fire. Okay, I kind of want to get my artillery ships up here to where they can just unload on enemy units. To get all my boarding vessels ready. This is a big fat mess. That's okay. I've got quite a lot of these ramming ships as well. I'm going to kind of try and pull them over to another area. Okay. I'm going to have to fast forward for a good long while to get everything in position. And as a few of my ships rout, I should have just a couple more. Okay, what is it about do not fire at will that seems to elude you? Okay, stop firing. What the crap? I forgot you can't pause it. Go back to play. Is there something about fire at will that we're struggling with here? This is incredible. Are you all seeing this? Not on fire at will. And they fire at will. No order whatsoever. Look, not fire at will. Not fire at will. Good grief. Gonna waste all my ammo and actually end up making this hard for me. Idiotic crap. Man, stupid ships. Okay, over here. There we go. Okay, let's just try not to fire at will this time. That's all I'm asking of you. It's really not that difficult. They have a couple of artillery, like Bastion artillery back there, but that's not going to really play in. I think we have enough to pretty much just overwhelm the AI. I think I'm actually going to take all these ships that are right here and go ahead and land. Okay. Now I actually don't mind if you fire at will. Watch them like not fire now too. I'm gonna see if we can soften up the enemy a little bit here. Wow, we hit that spear unit pretty good. Let's actually try and take out that tower. Okay, I've got my first wave of Marines coming in. They're elite Marines, too, which is pretty sweet. Okay, all my artillery ships are acting stupid. Okay, we took the tower out. That's what we wanted.
Good news.
That is good news. I'm going to let my first wave of assault ships land and start disembarking their troops. Let's go check that out. In the snow. My Roman troops disembarking into Geat territory. It kind of seems backwards from what you would expect, you know, like the forefathers of the Vikings would be the ones. Okay, my artillery ships are firing at will again. Okay, ceasefire. Okay, ceasefire. Okay, ceasefire really means ceasefire. Holy crap. Got some very zealous artillery crews here. Alright, so all of my elite Marines are engaging. They have javelins and stuff with them. Makes these guys really good, actually. They have a javelin unit back there, too, now that's absolutely peppering me. I'm going to try and get rid of it. Yeah, my elite Marines are actually completely shredding these guys. That's very good. These have been some handy units. I'm going to bring in like a second landing party here. Why are my artillery ships trying to get so close? They really have that crappy of a range, huh? So they're not very impressive. Yeah, I'm going to put a few hits on these skirmishers, though at this point it's probably not worth my while. Okay, ceasefire. I like how I have to give my guys like a whole bunch of different orders. Look at him still firing at it, like while they're turning around. Wow, at least his artillery ships are reliable. Reliably unreliable. Let's check out some of this combat up close in the snow. It's pretty much a blob fest, but I want to see my elite Marines. They look awesome. They have like the same armor as the Armageddon. They kind of look like Armageddon Defensorius, actually. Yeah, they absolutely ripped through that. And then I think all we've got to do, though, is just go capture the victory point. And then my second wave of troops landing. This should look pretty sweet here, too. Oh, yes, it does. Looking real good. Oh, yeah. So sweet. Alright. I've taken in the view enough, I guess. We've got a few more enemy units roaming around down here. We caught those skirmishers. Let's take these units and go capture the victory point. And the rest of these units, let's go engage the Geat forces. I'm going to leave a few units free to go. Oh, wow, there's a cavalry unit back here I didn't expect. Okay, let's go chase this skirmisher. There we go. I think we got the skirmisher run off. My guys are headed to the town center. I want to see my guys clash with these Nordic Brigade. Let's watch it. Watch my heavy Marines. Oh, those point-blank Plumbata were beautiful. So we're going to clash with this Nordic Brigade, and I'm pretty sure my men are going to wreck them pretty hardcore. And let's see. So we've busted through all back here. Their skirmishers are going to be run down here momentarily. These Nordic Raiders are the only thing holding me up over here. And they're not going to do very well in prolonged combat versus these elite Marines. Well, I'm glad that I didn't lose all my income, so it's a good thing I had quite a bit of cultural income. And the AI can run away all they want. I'm about to capture their victory point, so they can try and kite me or whatever they want to do. It's not going to work. What does use the whip do? Freezes fatigue, but then it makes them more fatigued. I don't think it's going to help me catch them at this point. Look at this one skirmisher unit. Having to run away from like all my men. How are we doing on the capture? Okay, the capture's begun. This is hilarious. My guys are actually throwing Plumbata at them as they run. This guy's like, man, I'm wearing a wolf face, but I'm scared. Look at these guys running away, the occasional Plumbata dart chasing them. That's hilarious. I think they're about to get caught. I don't know how, but apparently my elite Marines are quick. They're going to rout now. The Roman blob catches up to him. My men still indiscriminately throwing javelins. Awesome. Yes! Oh, sweet, sweet revenge on the Geats. I love it. Hack them to bits. And we are about to finish capturing the town center. Let's get a nice little cinematic view of my men storming across the beach, having taken the Geat settlement. Should be rolling up on victory. Oh yeah! Who's the seafarers now, Geat scum? Just trashed your stupid town. Oh man, it feels so good. So actually now it has to count down to victory too. That's annoying. What is it? Just their bastion onager? Well, I don't want to get a bunch of my guys shot by their towers, so I'm just gonna fast forward through this. But yeah. Anyway, that was a pretty nice victory over the Geats. Pretty happy with the way that turned out. My Marines are actually very strong in melee combat, which very much like that. The snow did not stop my men, which also nice. So just check my men out up here on the town center. Looks a little bit cold here, gents. It really does. Apache knows how to pick the time of year. Look at this guy, soaked in the blood of his enemies. That is some sweet looking like gold scale armor there, though. Looks very, very nice.
The enemy fort will belong to us.
There we go.
Wind is at our backs. Victory calls.
Achievement unlocked, Veteran Admiral. I like it. So we destroyed the Geats there. They did not have a chance versus those navies. And my elite Marines picked up a pretty sturdy number of kills. Those are decent units. I mean, against like if it's just a bunch of like garrison units and stuff, garrison spears and stuff like that, they're going to be very good. Unfortunately, I did lose 2 artillery crews. And I think I'm just going to... I don't want to own this area because the terrible like climate change right now. So I think I'm just going to raise it.
Yes. Your orders.
Patrol, reinforcement, integrity, campaign movement. We still got one more Geat settlement to destroy. So we do need to do that, but I'm going to have to wait. I'm not taking any attrition. Some of my men are a little bit beat up, but we should Should have enough forces left. Plus, I have these land forces, but I'm actually thinking about kind of turning my attention with the land forces and coming down here and destroying like the Thrungians and just getting ready to maybe help against the Huns. I can already see 2 Hun stacks here. Probably, I mean, I am kind of low on money though, so if I pull these guys out, it will make a difference. It's not a huge difference, and I can probably go ahead and get my spies headed towards the Hun armies to try and scout them out, misdirect them, just whatever we can do to cause some general havoc. I think that's what we're going to want to do. Okay, so we got all this, and I had a spy that was, yeah, he just got down here. He's like, so you just made me walk all the way from Britain, and now I have to go back up here. That is correct. All right, so let's see. Agent experience. I don't really see how that would be helpful. Corruption, but he's a general, not a governor. So we'll just go ahead and help him with the replenishment. So, I mean, we have enough armies to defend ourselves. We've got a lot to do in terms of food. We have work going on in all these provinces. Got the food emporium coming up here. And could go ahead and drop the wheat mills up here too, probably. That's a lot of squalor. Oh well, let's just kind of see how we turn out on a few of these. Like I said, we've got repairs and other stuff going on up here that may fix a fair portion of what's going on up here. So, and once we clear the negative penalties for the food, it'll help the public order a lot in these provinces also. So, and I think we should be able to clear it fairly soon. So it looks like fishing jetties and cattle farms are going to be the most climate change resistant structures. There we go. Let's go ahead and end the turn. See what happens. Maybe my food will get a little bit better come spring. But over the next few turns, we should be able to stabilize it. Like I said, we'll just make a focus. Wow, the Visigoth fleet's out in force there against the East Romans. And it looks like the East Romans took the worst of that engagement, which is amazing because one of those is an actual fleet there. You would think it would do pretty well versus the transports. Oh, Swabians. They've been reliably killing Gallic rebels for a long time. Alright. I'm going to take on warriors. I want that garrison to be at full strength at all times with the Huns roaming about. Having Carnuti Senoras in my garrisons now, though, is going to give the Huns a lot of problems. Which is good. I wouldn't be half surprised if the Jutes turn their back on me. I may leave an army in Britannia just in case. That would be a disaster to be trying to face the Huns. And then have the Jutes or someone else turn their back on me. Like the Saxons, the Jutes. There could be any number of factions back there that could try and get tricksy on me all of a sudden. Wow, the Huns all over the Swabians there. Now, if we can catch Hun stacks out on their own, could be a good way to try and tear them down. Now, I think that unless you kill Attila, they're going to keep spawning stacks. Could be wrong, though. Someone remind me how that works. I know that you have to kill Attila like 2 or 3 times before he actually dies. But I can't remember whether or not his stacks keep respawning before he dies. Okay, so there are some enemy fleets coming up on Britannia, so we'll have to get our army in position. My other fleets will continue finishing off the Geats. And then I think I'm going to take Sextus and the other commander down to help out the Swabians versus the Huns. So term of office completed on a lot of these. Let's go back in here and let's make our enemies eat up some of their influence here. This guy can do all the way up to Master Horse, which is nice. Gonna eat up some of his influence. There we go. This guy's a statesman, so I'm not concerned about him doing anything. Wow. Honorius has a ton of Supreme Commander. This does give him plus 10 melee attack, but it costs 63 influence. I think that I'm going to hold off on it because he's not in any combat right now, but if I need to, I can give Sextus that office. Okay, and it looks like we can get down here and try and take out the last Geet settlement.
Is there nothing else?
I'm going to come down here and blockade. Yeah, this is going to be an easy auto-resolve, so I'm just going to auto-resolve. Units receive no bonuses or penalties, usually more... Well, the enemy doesn't have missile supremacy. I don't know what it's considering. I'm just going to go with a balanced approach here. Wow, we took a ton of losses. But we got the job done. We could subjugate them. I don't know if they're going to stay loyal, though. That could be a problem. But it could mean another trade agreement. What should I do with the Geets? What should I do with the Geets? Let's try subjugating them. It'll at least be a while before they can try and get stupid with me again. And with them subjugated, yeah, we can try and get trade agreements and all kinds of other stuff. I think this will be okay. I'm going to take my fleets and go ahead and start retreating back toward Britannia. I did keep an army here, which this is good. We're going to need it. I think I'm going to come stand right here where these guys are wanting to disembark their transports. Yeah, the Geets have been subjugated here. There was a bunch of Jutes hanging around, but it looks like that's kind of cleared up a little bit. All right, the snow has cleared, so let's try and get... I need to make sure that these armies can move together, though, because they got to stay safe. Neither one of these armies has the upgraded troops that I have with other ones. Okay, so both these armies together, and right now we're near the safety of a settlement that would help defend us, so we can march there. I'll try and move up and over and hit the Thrungians, and then the Swabians are under siege up here. That's kind of a long ways out, else I might consider helping them, because helping them near a city would give us the garrison, which would be nice. Manipulate agent, hinders an agent's progress, or compel them to join your side. Deceive. Agent manipulated, agent stopped. Compels the target to join your cause. Extort. Let's try it.
They will join us, as you command.
Success. Campaign movement is disabled, so it wasn't a critical success, but we at least got that agent stopped for the time being. I've got my other spy. He's going to be heading up here. Let's go see if we can work the Huns over a little bit. I did gain access to more. Yeah, I still can't have more spies or champions, unfortunately. I can have more armies. And I've kind of got this navy here guarding the entrance to the Adriatic. It's not going to be perfectly guarded, but it's guarded. And then I've got another navy here too that can kind of watch out for Huns in the Adriatic as well. I've got several very strong armies ready to defend against the Huns. This one will be completed soon too. But yeah, we've definitely taken a hit on money. My food popped up just a little bit, and it's kind of nice. Still got 4 turns, probably till it's going to correct itself there. Carthagenesis, I've got this fishing jetty on the way, so that should help mostly correct it there, but it won't correct it all the way. If we upgrade it all the way, it might, but I can't handle all the squalor, which is crazy. Got this Basilica, Great Theater. We could convert the Great Theater to the Circus. So Squalor 4, Squalor 2. We can handle Squalor. It's the same amount of food, but we get a lot more public order boost. Food Emporium, Wine Emporium. Holy crap, man. You get some serious... You only get 90 food from the highest level here, but I mean, still, it's immune to... Yeah, there we go. So anyway, that'll fix the public order issue that we're going to have there when that gets converted over. Lusitania, we got a field, and as soon as we turn that into a cattle herd, we should hit stable levels of food in Lusitania. And Terraconesus, we're at minus 94. We just built the cattle herd there. This great theater. We probably need to switch this over to the circus as well to get the extra public order boost. And what are we getting from this marble? Like just a little bit of wealth from industry. It's not even a big deal. If I knock it down a notch, we might get rid of some of the squalor that we're facing here. Fishing jetty. We're getting a lot of squalor from these big wheat mills out there. I'm going to go ahead and knock that down a notch. So for 10 food, I get only 1 public order. It's not that much. It's probably not going to help. Tripletania, Belgique, and Belgique's fine. So Mauritania is now... Okay, yeah, we're good on food out here, actually. And we can actually build a food emporium. Okay, I think we're good for this this episode. Hope y'all enjoyed it. So things are happening. Attila's here. Things are about to get real. I'm going to correct the food situation, and then we're going to really be keeping an eye out for how we can get at the Huns. That's going to be my next big goal there. I'm going to go with this one's going to save me some upkeep costs in the Navy. That helped out a lot. See you on the next episode.